Mm. Tank, we asked because we had Leo Santa Cruz on the podcast a week ago, and he said he'd like to fight you. Is that something you'd be interested in?
Of course, I think that should be after my next fight for sure. It can land on pay-per-view, I believe. So, he actually fighting for my old belt, I believe. So, it's a great fight for boxing.
Yeah, I want to see it.
Suavemente. Sky's the limit, baby.
BoxingVoice.com.
We don't fight for rings and stuff like that. I don't fear anyone.
En este deporte no se viene a jugar y no le tengo miedo a nadie.
You don't come to play in this sport. I fear no one in this sport.
Does that mean that you will fight Triple G later this year?
Como lo dije en la pelea pasada, ahorita mismo me vuelvo a poner los guantes.
As I said in the last fight, right now I'll put on the gloves again.
¡Viva México!
Canelo wants to unify all the titles.
When did you realize, Andy, that you could take his power?
Because of the Mexican warrior that I am, I got that Mexican blood in me. So, talking about the Mexican style, I just proved it.
BoxingVoice.com.
Ain't no other sight in the game can see the boxing voice.
Welcome back, TBV fans. Welcome back to another spontaneous edition of the Boxing Voice Radio. We are back this week on the PBC Podcast. Gervonta Tank Davis was a guest where he was asked numerous questions that led me to believe that this Leo Santa Cruz, Gervonta Tank Davis fight is in the works and will be coming down the pipeline as a pay-per-view. There was a lot of build-up and talk about this fight and how the, Yuriorkis Gamboa fight that should take place December would be a good barometer and indication as to whether or not Gervonta Tank Davis could be a pay-per-view star. Now, Leo Santa Cruz was on the PBC podcast last week, and he called out Tank Davis. Now, this is not the first time. If you do just an Instagram search, believe me, there are numerous calls out from Leo to Tank and Gary to Leo and Gary to Tank and just about everybody dating back a good amount of time, at least 2 years back worth of time. So this is something that we've always kind of knew was a possibility, but the twist is that Gervonta Tank Davis has vacated his title, moved up to 135, and is rumored to be facing Yuriorkis Gamboa for a vacant WBA regular. In the meantime, Leo Santa Cruz is said to be facing I don't know who for a vacant title that used to be Gervonta Tank Davis. So Davis vacates, Leo fights for it, and this is where it gets crazy. So now Davis is saying, look, I could fight at 30 or 35, so I'll fight wherever, Leo Santa Cruz is comfortable. And if he wants to fight at 30, then we'll fight at 30. So he's really only going to 35 to get this fight with Gamboa. Looks like then Leo slides in, gets his belt, and then they make it for his belt again. Because we all know at 35 the real champ is Vasyl Lomachenko, and I doubt Leo Santa Cruz is going to fight Gervonta Tank Davis for a regular WBA belt. So why have Leo, fight for the vacant Gervonta title instead of just fighting Gervonta? I don't know. But that's exactly what it sounds like. You could check out that whole podcast on Premier Boxing Champions podcast, but I'll play some audio.
Tank, we asked because we had Leo Santa Cruz on the podcast a week ago, and he said he'd like to fight you. Is that something you'd be interested in?
Of course, I think that should be after my next fight for sure. It can land on pay-per-view, I believe. So, he actually fighting for my old belt, I believe. So, it's a great fight for boxing.
Yeah, I want to see it. It would be an exciting fight.
Definitely.
He says he'd rather do it at 130, but he's willing to go to 35. So it sounds like you would be willing to do it at 130 if you had to.
Of course, whatever's comfortable for him. Both parties feel comfortable at what weight that we pick, and he willing to fight, and I'm willing to fight. So I think that would be a great fight to have.
Now, Tank, your star power has shot up in the past couple of years. You had an insane crowd at your homecoming bout. You got a huge ovation at the Baltimore Ravens game. You got a key to the city. And your last fight, you were number one on Google Trends that day. Did you ever imagine you would be this big?
I always knew I would be big, but not as quick. I never knew the timing. But, I know the work that I put in, since I was a kid, and it's paying off now.
So shout out PBC for getting that good interview, giving us the information. So my question to you guys basically is Gervonta Tank Davis versus Leo Santa Cruz a pay-per-view fight, or is it not worth the money? Should Showtime just put this on Showtime since Gervonta's a Showtime fighter? Should this be a Fox fight? Is this worth the pay-per-view? I see I see some people in the chat saying it depends on the undercard. PC Jacob, shout out to PC Jacobs, always trying to keep us up to date with whatever news he finds, giving us suggestions for the show. Truly appreciate it if I never said it. Thank you. He says, depends on the undercard. If there's not two more world-level fighters, not a pay-per-view. Let's see. Number one Streetwear says, I say worth it. Tank has exciting KOs and seems to be getting better with each fight. So he's okay with the pay-per-view. We got another one here says, hell no. It has to be stacked. Also have a real star on the card. Okay, so Gervonta Tank Davis or Leo Santa Cruz, not stars in his opinion. Junior Manuel says, good fight now. We're really talking. Okay, so he really likes the fight. Earthquake, what up, Earthquake? Long time listener. Y'all getting out of hand with this. Not everything is pay-per-view. Yes, man. Send your frustration towards PBC. I am here to present this to you, and you are here to tell them how you really feel. So let's see. Rabuski says, definitely not a pay-per-view unless you stack the undercard with good fights. Well, we've seen the Earl Porter with decent fights, right? That was decent fights, I believe. And we didn't mind it. Maybe they can stack it up again. We got another one says, I would pay to see this. All right, well, there you go. He's willing. We got Phil Price says, that's not a pay-per-view fight. Just gives more credibility to DAZN's strategy. Curtis Anderson's Tanks TKOs Santa Cruz in 8, but did not answer the question. No problem. We got Brandon in Cincinnati says, nobody gonna pay to watch this bloodbath. Shaking my head. Rabruski says, nothing. He said, no, it's not worth pay-per-view unless you stack the undercard. Okay, you said that. We got Curtis Anderson says, not worth pay-per-view. Don Suave says, I'll buy it, but the undercard has to be lit. Ohio Runs Boxing says, no, it's not worthy of a pay-per-view. We got Vanderpool says, how are people saying Tank versus Farmer a pay-per-view, but Tank versus Leo not one? Very good statement there. That's absolutely true, right? All over the place, you hear people talking about Tank versus Farmer is a pay-per-view. Is it because it's a unification? Because I'm with you. I believe that Leo Santa Cruz has done more in his career. He's a multiple division champ. He's been able to unify. How is in a fight with he and Gervonta a pay-per-view, but a fight with Gervonta and Gervonta and Farmer is one. Now, I know what people are going to say. They're going to say, yo, but they got built up history. There's animosity there. They got some sort of rivalry. All right. I don't know. I guess that sells it. What else we got here? Let's see. Curtis Anderson, the days of great undercard fights are gone. I don't think so. I believe it was the Porter Spence card that was really good, wasn't it? What else we got? Oh, wow. But Ohio Runs Boxing says, yes, I agree 1,000 billion %. You do marketing research for PBC now. Okay. Who's he talking to? Is it me? I don't know. Brandon Maurice says, Tank versus Farmer was pay-per-view worthy because it was a huge rivalry with real bad blood. You hear this shit? So I guess if we got a real beef, it's worth me spending money. Okay. I got you. Leaf Hound says, Floyd is desperate to make Tank into a pay-per-view star without earning it. And Orday Knight says, this can be a fight of the year, pay-per-view for sure. Okay. Jonathan says, that's not a pay-per-view fight. No way. And Marcus says, for the right price, we'll pay. And Jonathan comes back and says, Tank versus Haney is pay-per-view. I mean, yeah, but you got to build into that, and you don't want Tank and Haney's first pay-per-view to be each other, or do we? Kind of like Earl and Porter. I think it's always best when both men have their own trajectory and meet. Then they bring in the party to each other, LeBron James says Tank versus Leo in LA is pay-per-view with a stacked card. All right. Leo has unfinished business with Gary Russell Jr. Leo is such a letdown. No tiene huevos, el puto. Okay, wow. We got Rose saying I'd pay for it. Tank versus Haney 50-50 fight and two great fighters. That's a good, solid pay-per-view. Can Leo beat Tank, says Junior Manuel. I don't know. Very good point. UCTV Network says, if pay-per-view will use Vidal Riley for buys. So I know Vidal Riley just signed a Mayweather, so I mean they could put him on that card to bring in the international viewers. He has done a fight in Dubai on a Badu Jack card, so that's already a TMT fighter. So he's got relations, and now he just signed a multi-fight deal with TMT Promotions. Vidal Riley, if you don't know who he is, Vidal Riley is the head trainer of KSI, who's going to be taking on Logan Paul November 9th on the Matchroom card. What else we got? Tank versus Beecher is P. I don't even know who's Beecher. Whatever that is. I'm buying anything Tank does, says Luca. That's a true supporter. We got Mr. PBC says, this is a good fight to get at Loma. Teddy B in the Midwest Sports Talk says, I'd go to the movies and see it, but I only pay $20 for that. So you don't mind that it's on pay-per-view then. Luca Brazzi says, Baltimore, stand up. Mr. Adore says, pay-per-view? How much? Not paying $65 for that one. Let me see who else we got. Oh, he said Burchelt versus Tank is pay-per-view. No, I hear you, man. That's a unification. And Mexico versus Black, good rivalry. We got what he says. So he moves up to 135, wants to fight a 126-pounder. Jump Tube says, yeah, man, that's what he's doing. And it's even worse because the 26-pounder is going to be fighting for his vacant title, and then he might come back down and fight him for his own title back. Brandon is in Cincinnati says, can Tank just fight somebody his size? Damn, shaking my head. We don't even know if the power official yet. Well, this will be his third fight this year if he does face Gamboa. So that's at least a step in the right direction, We want these stars fighting more than just twice per year. And Brandon comes back and says, and I'm not paying to watch no Duck and Leo. Okay. Kareem says the entire card has to be fire for it to be pay-per-view. No problem. Ali Boombaye. What up? Ali and Dago says, Ness, the only way it's worthy pay-per-view is a very good undercard. All right. Marquise Duncan says, yo, Ness, I'm from Baltimore, and I'm telling you, the whole city buying this one on pay-per-view. I hear you, man. You got to support your own, brother. You got to support your own. Let's see here. Nando says, not a pay-per-view. Jonathan says, nobody would pick Leo to beat Tank. Can't have a pay-per-view with a minus 8,000 side for real. I mean, yeah, he would probably be a huge underdog. You're right about that. Tank knock out Leo in 7. All right. What else we got? I mean, why he move up if he wants to fight 130? I don't know, bro. They got a plan, I guess, and we got to wait. And that's it. We all up to date with the comments. You know, if you want to call in, you want to give us your thoughts on this, let me know. The number to call in, 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 time. Voice your opinion right here on the Voice of the People hotline now. Don't forget, you can add Nestor Gibbs on Skype as well to be part of the conversation. And, yeah, man, let's get out to these callers. Remember, we're talking Tank Davis versus Leo Santa Cruz. He was a guest on the PBC Podcast, 2-time world super featherweight champion and rising star Gervonta Tank Davis was on the PBC Podcast this week, and he discussed a third bout for 2019, which is Yuriorkis Gamboa. Nothing official with that yet, but when asked about a past guest who was there the week prior, Leo Santa Cruz, and his call out on air, obviously Tank was all willing to take that fight, but mentioned that it would be pay-per-view. He feels that the Gamboa fight is a good fight, a good feeler to kind of see is he star ready, and then the Leo fight would be his pay-per-view fight. So this is what we're talking about. If you agree, you know the number to call in, 1-425-569-5241. And if you don't agree, you can still call in and just let us know what trajectory you would like to see Tank Davis go down. Remember, you could add Nestor Gibbs on Skype to be part of the conversation.
Tank, we asked because we had Leo Santa Cruz on the podcast a week ago, and he said he'd like to fight you. Is that something you'd be interested in?
Of course. I think that should be after my next fight for sure. It can land on pay-per-view, I believe. So he actually fighting for my old belt, I believe. So it's a great fight for boxing.
Yeah, I want to see it. It would be an exciting fight.
Definitely.
Yeah, he says he'd rather do it at 130, but he's willing to go to 35. So it sounds like you would be willing to do it at 130 if you had to.
Of course, whatever's comfortable for him. Both parties feel comfortable at what weight that we pick, and he willing to fight, and I'm willing to fight. So I think that would be a great fight to have.
Now, Tank, your star power has shot up in the past couple of years. You had an insane crowd at your homecoming bout. You got a huge ovation at the Baltimore Ravens game. You got a key to the city. And your last fight, you were number 1 on Google Trends that day. Did you ever imagine you would be this big?
I always knew I would be big, but not as quick. I never knew the timing. But, I know the work that I put in, since I was a kid, and it's paying off now.
So there you have it, straight from the horse's mouth. Again, what I found strange was the fact that he vacated his 130-pound title. He's now going to fight at 135 versus Yuriorkis Gamboa in December, while Leo fights for his vacant title. And then if Leo wants it at 130, he's willing to go back down and fight for his own title. So a little strange. And now that I'm talking to you guys and reading your comments in the chat, I mean, you might be right. Is Leo going to even open up in the minus 100s, or is he going to be in the minus thousands? Someone suggested that he would be a minus 8,000, which is very... Well, I guess they're suggesting that Gervonta would be a minus 8,000 to win, which... I mean, sounds like those strike that. Sounds like those Vasyl Lomachenko odds when he fights people, he's, and even Haney. Haney was like a minus 5,000 his last time out. So, obviously, Luke Campbell and whoever the hell Haney was fighting, Abdulayev, wasn't Leo Santa Cruz, but I kind of feel the people in the chat. I don't think that I'm giving Leo that much of a shot. Like, he throws a lot of punches, but they're not hard shots. I'm not in there with him. Obviously, he was able to keep Abner off of him, but Abner is no Tank. Like, I don't know. I think I'm with everybody that I feel like maybe this guy really stops Leo. I don't know what sort of credit he gets amongst the hardcore boxing fans, but I tell you, as a marketing ploy, this is his Mexican-American star to cross him over, similar to Earl and Mikey. Now, the difference between this is Mikey had a lot of popularity. Leo only has like 166,000 followers on Instagram, where Gervonta, to me, gives me the impression that he is a whole lot more popular than Leo Santa Cruz. Gervonta Tank Davis frequents many, radio stations. You got Hollywood Unlocked consistently combing his social media. You got Shade Room. You got, TMZ always got their eye on him. I never really see TMZ. I mean, and I'm saying never really because I really never, ever seen TMZ do anything on Leo Santa Cruz, let alone Yuriorkis Gamboa. The A-side, the star on the rise in the making is Gervonta. So if this is a pay-per-view, it's because you want to see him fight Leo Santa Cruz, not because it is a competitive fight. I'm not saying that it can't be. Again, with Leo Santa Cruz and the fact that he throws all those punches, I just don't know, will he throw all those punches when he gets punched in the face by somebody like Tank? But chopped it up enough. I'm going to go out to our sponsors real quick and get out to you guys and see what you think. I know we got fights that just started at 6:30 on ESPN.
Remember to rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
It is hard to continue developing new content and covering the sport as thorough as we do without contributions from loyal listeners like you. If you enjoyed listening to the Boxing Voice Radio and find it informative and entertaining, please consider making a donation.
Mr. PBC, baby.
BoxingVoice.com. I'm the flyest. Canelo talking about he believe he can win. Go to my kitchen. Get the sharpest knife and cut the bullshit up. I don't care what you do good. I do every fucking thing great.
Mr. PBC, baby.
Yo, what's good? I would love to see this fight. I love watching Leo Santa Cruz fight. He's a dog. You like you said, man, he doesn't have a lot of power, but he doesn't give up. I watched Carl Frampton fights, both of them. He beat Adam Ramos twice. I mean, this would be a real good, I don't give a fuck if it's pay-per-view now. I don't give a fuck. I'm not with that shit. I mean, if it is, if it ain't, it is what it is. I just want to see the fight. Leo Santa Cruz, he can take a punch. I mean, it'll be kind of a good test for Gervonta Tank Davis to see if he can handle someone who can last, and not just fall, or just give up, or just look weak. Leo Santa Cruz, he comes to fight, and I would love to see this. And he's way better than Tevin Farmer to me in my eyes because Leo Santa Cruz, I mean, he's with PBC. He has better fights for me. I mean, Tevin Farmer's not pay-per-view. That's what they need to say. Not Leo Santa Cruz is pay-per-view. And I would definitely pay. And if it ain't, I'll still watch it no matter what. And that's my call.
Mr. PBC, thanks for calling in. Going out to Mr. CYP. Talk to me.
Are in my top 10 favorite fighters. I mean, I love Leo straight up. Always have. I love his personality. The dude is like a dude you want to be friends with. You want to borrow money from him. He cool as hell. But Tank, on the other hand, Tank is like Darren Sproles, like Nate Robinson. It's like you think that they too small to be around them giants, but nah, they ain't little dudes. They just happen to be in little dude bodies. Like, something about Tank is special to me, man. Like, he the kind of dude that I think could beat up a bigger nigga. Like, if a big dude in the street run up on Tank, I think Tank will whoop his ass. And a lot of them little boxers, I'm like, man, you'll get overwhelmed and swarm and get slammed. I don't think Tank is that kind of dude. And I do believe that it's pay-per-view worthy because I'm going to see it anyway. Like I told you, you can't be the dude who buys every fight and supports every fighter and then talk shit about it. Man, you look and you sound dumb. If you're going to pay for it and watch it, then it's worthy to you. Remember that, idiots. But real talk, I do believe it's pay-per-view. I believe that Tank is going to whoop Leo's ass, and I don't want to see Leo get his ass whooped, but that's the name of the game when you get millions of dollars. Shit, I'll whoop all y'all asses for $1 million. Matter of fact, I'll whoop y'all asses for $500K. But anyway, I'm just joking. Don't get all scared and sensitive. But I'll boomerang back. But yes, it is pay-per-view worthy.
All right. Well, thanks for calling in. Let's see. We got Stainless calling from Detroit on the boomerang. Talk to us.
Straight to the point for those with attention deficit. I'm so repetitive, so I gotta repeat. Stainless from the streets to the deep. I'm coming with that heat. All you need to know about me, I'm coming with that heat.
Dang.
I swear to God, I just woke up limb by blunt, and then y'all called me. So I love how this call service is working. I'm a little confused though. Are we talking about Tank on pay-per-view with Gamboa or Santa Cruz?
Definitely with Santa Cruz. They're using the Gamboa fight to test his star power, and he feels that's going to lead him into the Leo Santa Cruz pay-per-view fight next year.
Okay, yeah, Santa Cruz, I can see that on pay-per-view. I like to see him fight somebody relevant this year. If it's at 126 or he comes up to 130.
Nah, he's fighting at 135, and the rumor is Yuriorkis Gamboa in December.
No, Santa Cruz.
Yeah, Santa Cruz is definitely fighting on the Wilder undercard at 130. He's fighting for Tank's old title.
Okay, yeah, that could be a good fight, especially if they got a good undercard, like like they did for that Spence Porter fight, man. That I definitely bought that on pay-per-view. Even more so if they started coming down on that price, but I'ma always find somewhere to watch the fight, so I ain't worried about it, man. And I don't have to illegal stream. I go out and I go to a bar, movie, sports bar. It's always playing somewhere, man. So yeah, I definitely support that fight. But that's all I got for now, man. As I always say, please make sure you push the thumbs up. Share this in every episode of the Boxing Voice podcast. It's TBV for life. And if you ain't on Patreon, it's because you're stupid. And shout out to El Camino. Peace.
Stainless, man. Thanks for calling in. It seems like people are just going to support Tank. So he's getting ready to be that type of pay-per-view star. I think if people are willing to buy Leo, because I don't even think Mexicans are going to believe Leo got a shot. Do you guys? I mean, he's such a nice guy. He talks so low and he hits so soft. I feel the support, though. I feel y'all supporting Tank. I think that it'll be a bigger draw for him if he fought someone a little more on the, where it's more like it ain't going to be a 50-50, but something a little closer that some people think he'll lose. Like the Burchell, that might have been the one, right? Some people, maybe some Mexicans will ride with Burchell. But I just think maybe more Mexicans will ride with Burchell than Leo. Leo just, I don't know. He doesn't hit hard. Like you got to be able to punch to stop Tank, man. I mean, look at his name. He coming straight at you, and he showed us with Pedraza, and the way he did to Pedraza compared to everybody else fighting Pedraza, I mean, he really handled Pedraza. He walked Pedraza down, man. Like, people had to get creative with Pedraza, and I'm talking about Lomachenko. So, Tank is that, man. He's a big puncher. So I just can't see how Leo gonna get him up off him. But we going out to NO. NO, what up? What up? What up? What up? What up? New Orleans, no there? Just listening. About to go from one truck driver to another. Brandon, talk to us in Cincinnati.
Yo, Ness, you want to know what they should have did?
to see if his star power is ready, should have put the Gamboa fight on Fox. And if he would have drew like 1.5, 2 million viewers at peak, then we would have got to have a better, judge on, his star power. Putting it back on Showtime, I mean, his last fight on Showtime did like 400,000. I can't see the Gamboa fight doing, a whole lot more than that. So it's really not going to be a good,
honestly, man,
star power.
Honestly, I like the Gamboa from a style perspective. You know Gamboa's chinny, so Tank could get like a crazy knockout. But then he's skilled, so he could probably catch Tank with some shit before he get knocked out. But he's still not English speaking. Like, yeah, he's had some fights. Yeah, he's been on HBO, but he ain't drawing flies to shit, man. Like, his career's been very inactive. He fucked up with the 50 Cent TMT shit. He had like 3 promoters when he was with Top Rank. Like, I don't think Gamboa's that dude either, man. They using bad dudes. In my opinion, I could be wrong. They could have data to prove us all wrong, but I don't know, Gamboa. You need somebody that's gonna give Tank some sort of challenge, not only in the ring but on the podium, man. Make him talk, like make him get gorilla, cause that's what he is. He like beating on his chest. He like being that fucking bully. But you need somebody to bring that out of him. Leo, hey, thank you. Come on, nobody want to hear that shit. Leo ain't gonna do it. Leo ain't bringing no beast out of him. You need, and that's why people. That's honestly, look. Everybody know. I ain't gonna say everybody know because Farmer gonna see me and hook off on me. But like, everybody know Tank is the favorite in the Farmer fight. But we want the Farmer fight because he at least got the balls to talk slick back to Tank.
I agree, and it's gonna force Tank to talk shit. Because without you talking, Tank is a fairly quiet guy's damn self. So it's got to be real bad blood to even get him, talking shit. So I don't know, man. I mean, the Leo fight's gonna be a hard sell. I guess they dependent on the Mexican fan base. But you know more than me. Do the Mexicans get behind every fucking fighter that's Mexican?
I can't see it, man. I can't see it. We ain't got no Mexican callers in right now. I don't know if it's still too early. It is only like 3:50 on the West. But like, I don't see it, man. I don't see them being fooled. Like, you can't fool them. They're not crazy. Like, you gotta be able to win or at least have a chance. And I just don't see that. I just don't see Leo having this chance. Maybe I'm wrong. I wish Mike was here to at least tell me if I'm wrong. But let me see what else we got. We got Lids Low. Talk to me.
Hey, what's happening, man? Shit. Oh, shout out to Baldy for making me a ringer. I ain't got no problem with it. You know what I mean? Tank or with Leo Santa Cruz. Man, 'cause at least Leo Santa Cruz wanna fight him. You know what I mean? Yeah, he don't hit that hard, but he do throw a lot of punches. So I mean, I ain't tripping. Do I expect Tank to win? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Would I rather see a Gamboa? I would, honestly.
No, but you still gonna get Gamboa. That's happening in December for free. But this this one is after, cause Leo fights in November on a Wilder pay-per-view. Then Tank gonna fight in December, and then they supposed to do it next year. And Tank is saying that this will be a good pay-per-view, but he dropping them. They've been dropping that Tank pay-per-view shit, so it's obviously about to happen.
Oh, that's good shit then. Well, I'm down, man. Give Tank the them upper people, man. I'm down for it though. I like it. I ain't got no problem with it, Chief.
All right, Liz Lowe, thanks for calling in. Yeah, if you listen to the audio, I've played it twice already on our stream. You can just rewind. He says, yeah, that's a good pay-per-view fight. And if you listen to their whole podcast, they get a little bit more in depth. He's on a little longer. And, he says, the Gamboa fight is a good barometer, basically, to see where the star power's at. And then they could throw him on pay-per-view with the Leo fight. Abner also still wants to fight. So, we'll see what happens with Leo. We'll see if Leo goes Gary Russell or Gervonta, right? Like, Shit, I mean, look, if you're going to fight Tank, you might as well fight Gary Russell for your father's honor because, I mean, you know, Tank is a harder puncher. I know Russell probably can't see them punches coming because of the speed, but I don't know, man.
90 seconds.
At least he in your weight class, you know, you'll be the bigger man if you make him fight you for Tank belt at 30. Patrick Rocha, what up?
What up?
How are you, my friend?
I'm good, sir. I'm good. So what happened with Tevin Farmer then? There's not going to be on.
Tank. I mean, Tank and Mayweather turned down $5 million offer, and Tevin Farmer turned down a $2 million offer. So, like, you know, they're at a standstill. So, you know, Tank got to move on.
Shit, I was so looking because I thought that was going to happen on December because Eddie Hearn was doing the shout out this week, but apparently he can't get that through because that's the fight I wanted. Tank, you know. So who's he fighting, Tank?
Rumor has it he's fighting in December for free versus Yuriorkis Gamboa at 135, moving up. He's already vacated his title.
And then after that, what is the ideal thing for Tank, in your opinion? After that,
not my opinion. It sounds like he is saying he wants Leo next on pay-per-view. Leo called him out.
10 seconds.
And he believes that that's a pay-per-view fight.
Okay, fair enough. And then hopefully after that, you never know, it might get Loma or one of them. That's the truth. All right, man. That's my call. Hope you're all right. Have a blessed weekend, bro.
Likewise, brother. Take it easy. Rule 504. Talk to me.
Hey there. What's going on, man?
What up?
I don't know, man. I think if they promoted it well, it could be a pay-per-view. I mean, I think Fox could do a job with numbers, getting people interested in this for a Fox pay-per-view. I don't know, man. I'm kind of on the fence. I'll just lean to it. It could be a pay-per-view. I think that there is potential there, but that's my call.
I just want to know how they getting him that $5 million Eddie was offering. Like, what are they telling him to not get mad at that? Majid in Florida, talk to me.
Yeah, what up, man? I like that Gamboa fight, you know, with him coming in at 135. And, yeah, with that Leo Santa Cruz thing, I'm like, if it happened, I'm going to support the fight regardless, you know, but I feel like Tank could probably knock his head off or something. And, next, I had a question. If, Lomachenko, I mean, if Lomachenko fight the winner of Teofimo Lopez and Comey and get all of those titles, is he going to vacate it and move down, or is he staying at 135? But
well, there has been rumors that's the plan. He wants to get all the titles and then vacate, come back down to 130 and 126. But who knows if all that's going to change now. Maybe Tank gets offered an undisputed fight. Maybe that's why Tank moved up to 35. Maybe that's why Tank wants to do this pay-per-view. You know, you get two fights with two guys that can't punch, can't knock you out. You build your name. One, you know, Gamboa's been in there with Crawford. Gamboa's been in there with Salido. Gamboa has some cachet. He was signed to 50 Cent. He was signed to Mayweather at one point. He got some cachet. Then you beat him. You do a good knockout on Fox. You get Leo on pay-per-view. And then you negotiate with Bob for undisputed. At that point, believe it or not, Mayweather and Leonard Atterbury will put Tank in the ring with Vasil because it would be for all the belts. And if he lost, it would be like when Canelo lost to Mayweather. You know, it won't be a big deal. And, I mean, in two fights, you know, think about it. Lomachenko would have had to face Comey or Teofimo, then Tank. Either of those three punch hard. By then, Lomachenko, who's already 30-something, who's already getting punched in the face, swelling his eye all up by Pedraza, maybe that's what they're waiting for, timing. That's why people like to talk about timing. Tunde Ajayi, timing. So you never know, man. They probably timing this one out for the right moment. We got Jay Will in Ohio. Talk to me.
Yeah, man. I think. Well, first I want to say, talk about the fighters real quick with the Gamboa fight, man. I think the Gamboa fight is going to be actually a tougher fight than the Leo Santa Cruz fight for Tank. I think the toughest thing about the Leo Santa Cruz fight is making the weight for your boy Tank. I think that's going to be the toughest thing for him. And other than that, I think he's going to, pretty much stop Leo. But I think for it to be a good selling pay-per-view, man, for his first pay-per-view, it can't be no $70. I think the main thing that's going to really determine the sales is the actual cost of the pay-per-view, man. At the end of the day, he's not a household name like that, like Mayweather was, to where you can't demand a 70 or 80 or, for like a Lomachenko fight 100. They shouldn't even ask for 100 for a Lomachenko. Unification. Not at this point of his career, man. I think for them to get themselves back up, man, they're going to have to start doing something with them prices for the average, casual fan to say, all right, I'm going to go ahead and get it for like $40 or something like that. But the 70, they're going to always shy away and just say, fuck, I don't even know who they are anyway. That's my call.
Jay Will, thanks for calling in, champ. Let's see who we got. Remember, you can add Nesta Gibbs on Skype to be part of that conversation. Let us know your opinion. What do you think? Is Tank Leo Santa Cruz pay-per-view or not worth the money? Talk to us. We're going out to Joshua in New Orleans. Talk to me.
Yeah, and that's I called in. What you were saying about Leonard Ellaby with Tank and Gamboa? What were you just saying about that?
I'm saying Teofimo and Comey fight December something like that, right? And then they gotta fight Vasil. That's the contract.
Uh-huh.
So Leonard and Floyd probably looking at it like, yo, all we gotta do is put Tank in there with some decent names to build his name, and then we'll get the opportunity.
What's the decent name?
Well, I think Gamboa is decent. I don't think he's a great name. I just went into depth about that. I think he's decent, though. Like, I also went into depth. He's got some cachet. He's been around the right names. He's fought some decent names. He was signed to some decent names. So he has cachet. And then Leo is similar to, the Mikey and the Earl fight. It's that fight to get Gervonta over the hump. And then after that, he negotiates for undisputed, because by then, Vasil would have fought the winner versus Comey Teofimo. So one of those three men would be Tank's fight for undisputed.
Hey, all right. Well, you already cleared it up. I just wanted to make sure you wasn't giving Tank no more credit, because he don't get no credit for Gamboa. If Bud can't get no credit for Gamboa when he was hot, and when Gamboa was the better Gamboa, undefeated, Tank ain't gonna get no recognition from him. He better not let Gamboa piece him up or daze him or anything. Because I heard him make a comment out about Bud one time saying that Bud got he got dazed by Gamboa. So I'm looking forward to the fight, and I will be watching it on the narrative I just had, and when I had going towards it. Take another one of them little fighters with the PBC. He fight no fucking body, but he get all the praise in the world and all that. And I ain't got too much to really say about him. I really just called it and see what you was going to say about this Gamboa and Tank fight. That's my call.
Yeah, nah, man, nah. If you're looking for me to say that that's a great fight, nah, it's not, but, Tank, I don't think anyone thinks Tank is going to ever be a welterweight. Do we think he'll be a welterweight? That's a good question. Is he big enough to be a welterweight? Because, if not, then the fight between him and Gamboa isn't bad. I know Gamboa's old at this point, but remember, Tank is young. He's on the way up. That's the way that it works. You're supposed to fight former world champions on your way up. Maybe some of you don't want developmental fights because he's already been a champion in 2 divisions or 2-time champion. I get that, but I would rather Gamboa and any of the names we just mentioned rather than Liam Walsh, Francesco Fonseca, Hugo Reyes or Ricardo Nunez. I would rather be reading the name Gamboa. But yeah, Tank's only 24. You know what I mean? So there's no rush. It's different. You Crawford fans love comparing Crawford to everybody. Crawford got his own path, but Crawford's 31, 32, man. He ain't got the luxury. Pardon me. He ain't got the luxury to take his time. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's already done what Tank done in the lower divisions. He's somewhere else at a different point in his career. Tank is where he was at when he was down at 30 and 35. So, I don't know. Just different conversation, if anything. But we going out to N.O. Are you there? Did he drop off? No, it looks like N.O. dropped off. So, we got Boomerang CYP. Talk to me. All right, no. And Stainless.
Yo, come to me next.
Yeah, again, I'd like to see the Tank Santa Cruz fight, but I'm surprised Abner not asking for it. And he, coming back for one last big fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I ain't trying to, ignore the Santa Cruz or the Gamboa, but I thought Abner Cruz was trying to get that fight. As far as Gamboa, though, I said it on the earlier call. I think Gamboa is a great way to gauge Tank and where he at. Gamboa is not the elite tier fighter, no, but he is a rugged fighter who's not been in any wars, but has been in a ring with some decent fights. You know what I'm saying? So I would like to see where Tank can go from there. You know what I'm saying? If he could get the knockout with him, you know what I'm saying? That would, if Tank knocked out Gamboa, I don't even know if I want to see the Santa Cruz fight, because like you already said, he throws a lot of punches, but he don't really hit hard. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what Santa Cruz could do against Tank if he knocking out people in a weight class above. But again, that's all I got, man. Please make sure you push the thumbs up. Share this in every episode of the Boxing Voice podcast, because it's TBV for life. And if you ain't on Patreon, that's because you're stupid. And shout out to El Camino. Peace.
CYP, if you're not ready, we out. You are the last caller.
Yo, let's go. Let's go. That's the way you end the fucking show. Nigga with the dough. Listen. I want to tell everybody, keep supporting the Boxing Voice, whether you like them, whether you hate them, whether you hate me, whether you like me, whether you love N.O., Stainless, whoever. Like, I give props to them dudes for calling in, making the show great. And I swear, when I clown y'all for being in the chat, I give you the analytics because it makes sense. It'd be better if y'all put y'all hate to a voice. It would be so much better. Shit. Stop having me call in taking up so much time. Come at me if you need to. I got you, because I'll rip your fucking head off. Real talk. And you know I will. But don't take that literally. Not literally. Just get yourself up in there, call in, start boomeranging, man. Just support. Or at least press the like button, man. I'm going to say that again. And Gal DiBiase about to make my intro. I'm about to do my best to make this shit the best intro y'all ever heard. I'm going, baby.
N.O., I see you jumped in. You ready? Because I'm out. All right, talk to me.
Yeah, what's sound? That's how my audio sound, bro.
You good, man. Real good.
All right, bro. I mean, when the last time we saw Gamboa fight, bro? Like, what Gamboa is this, like, right now?
He just fought like last month. They got him active. But I mean, Gamboa is in December to get Tank into the 35. Tank just did an interview with PBC saying that this fight will be pay-per-view next year.
With Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
Say, man, why? All right, check this out. Why Santa Cruz don't fight Gary Russell before he fight Tank in the pay-per-view? Like, build this shit up, like, man.
But let me ask you something. Isn't Tank more dangerous than Gary Russell? So if people out here saying that Leo ducking Gary Russell or afraid of Gary Russell, ain't he taking on a bigger challenge and fighting Tank?
Man, nah, man, that's that fucking. I done came up in weight, 2 weight classes. Nah, man, that's gonna be like a moral loss. Not a victory, like a moral loss. Like, you know what I'm saying? You did, cause
Tank. Tank. Listen. The audio that Tank got say that he is willing to fight Santa Cruz at 130 or 135. So Santa Cruz fighting at 130 already.
But he already dropped his belt up. What they gonna fight for? Like what they just gonna fight at 130?
Nah, check the slick shit out. So Tank dropped his belt, but Leo Santa Cruz fighting for it on the Wilder undercard.
Oh, all right. They playing music. I see what's happening. I see what's going on, bro. But man, I don't know, bro. Like he ain't fight Rigondeaux, bro, and he ain't fight Gary Russell, dog. Like I'm seeing a pattern, bro. And the Tank fight more dangerous, but you not gonna really take an L when you can't lose in that fight. If you get knocked out, you were too small. You shouldn't have been fighting. You dig? If you win, man, I ain't gonna lie. If he fuck around and win, that boy gonna be the next thing smoking. They gonna be hollering, bro. He gonna be the next Mexican hero. But that ain't happening. Tank is gonna wipe that dude out, man.
I mean, you don't see. Listen. All right, let me walk you through this. Let me walk you through this fantasy right here, right? This ain't a fantasy because that means that I want it to happen or it's fun. But like, let me walk you through this alternate universe, right? Like, it's not like we don't know Tank to be out partying, clubbing, gaining weight, hanging with Broner, getting in trouble, Why this can't be Mike Tyson all over again? How do you know that he gonna be, 100% stamina? I mean, how many rounds has he ever gone? Let me Google this motherfucker. Like, has he ever been 12? Has he ever been 10? You know what I'm saying? What if Leo take him to dark waters, deep waters that he's never been? Leo's a veteran. Leo got 38 fights.
You telling me Leo all of a sudden got good feet move? He got good foot movement now. He gonna use the ring.
I'm saying Tank only been 9 one time. I'm saying Tank only been 9 one time. I'm saying how do we know his conditioning is there when you got a dude throwing 1,000 punches at you? You ain't never been there. Mexican style.
Against somebody who not hitting like Tank, man.
Dog.
Like, think about it.
Yo, listen, First of all, I know I be one of the first people to say, oh, he don't got no punching power or Malinaji, blah, blah, blah. But let's be real, man. Gloves is motherfucking 10 ounces plus the wraps. That's already 1 pound on your fucking hand plus the force and what you doing and the sweat. I mean,
right quick. He coming in fighting Mexican style, head to head against Tank, dog.
But bruh, he showed you gears in the Frampton fight. He lost the Frampton fight for being Mexican style. Then he came back and outboxed Frampton.
He not gonna outbox Tank, man. He can't outbox Tank, dog.
He ain't gotta outbox Tank. All he gotta do is keep Tank busy for the first 4 rounds and see where Tank's stamina at. Tank throw big ass punches. You waste more stamina when you throwing big ass bombs. Look at that left hook he caught Ricardo Nunez with. Or Hugo Nunez, whatever his name is. What if he would have missed that shit? How much stamina would he miss? He put all his might into his punches. You know that. I ain't saying Leo got no feet, but how you know he can't come up with a game plan?
Tank accurate, like Tank wild. Tank accurate. I can see if it was a wild, like you talking like Tank, like Kirkland, Jan Kirkland or something.
Nah, I'm just saying Tank ain't never been to deep waters. What if Leo put that game plan in?
So, who you putting your money on?
No. Shit, we was arguing this Tank minus 8,000 in this motherfucker. I'm just saying. Hey, listen, I told you I was gonna take you to another alternate universe. I ain't say I believe that shit.
I always know how to get to the truth, and that's all you gotta do is get to the money. Once you get to the money, you're gonna get to the truth, you dig? Once I find out who you putting your money on, then I know.
Nah, but it don't mean it can't happen. It don't mean we ain't seen this before where Mexican what is it? Outworks the fighter, man.
Yeah, but he not that kind of boxer, bro. If he fought like Tevin Farmer or something, bro, I'd be like, like real responsible and defensive, and you know what I'm saying? Trying not to get hit.
Tevin Farmer don't throw no punches, man. Tevin Farmer don't throw enough punches, man. But yo, you was the last caller. I'm outie. I'm about to watch these fights. They started already on ESPN, y'all, so don't sleep. You know you should be watching this shit because Sonny Conto probably done fought and I was fucking around and missed it because I'm with y'all, man. I'm out. Deuces.
Shout out Gary Russell, man.